The pressures of being a breadwinner or a sole income earner that nobody talks about, especially in business. Hello, ladies. All right, I wanted to have a candid conversation about being a sole income earner, or kind of the lead of the income train in my family. A lot of the clients that I attract are sole income earners or breadwinners. I don't like the term breadwinner, but people identify with it. So I just want to talk about it. I want to talk about the pressure of having to make money, not having the option not to make money, what I notice and observe in my clients, and also the women who can create that alignment and in life integration that they're craving. So I'm going to back up a little bit. When my husband and I got married, the roles were reversed, and he worked outside of the home. I was actually in school. I was having babies. I had part-time jobs, in alignment with my education. And all the money that I brought in was typically just for groceries or gifts. And I remember that feeling. I remember feeling like, if I don't work, it's okay. We just have less gifts to buy or whatever it is. My money was not codependent on paying the bills, although we were still paying paycheck to paycheck. And then we always had this dream that my husband would leave his job, and he left his job probably 5 years ago. And I remember the moment when slow transition happened, and I started slowly taking over the bills. I started paying for them outside of the business. And then, when we got to that point, it was, we would put his money away so that we weren't codependent on the money. And then he just left his job. And I remember when he physically left his job and the absolute panic and fear that I went through. So although at the time we had, I would say, a little bit of savings, but not much, just in case something happened, but we did not have financial stability. And I will never forget that pressure. And every time I talk to a friend or a colleague who is the sole income earner, especially if they're a business owner, because I feel like business ownership puts this extra layer of pressure because you are your boss. Like, nobody is going to give you a paycheck. Like, you're the one cutting yourself a paycheck. And I remember this fucking pressure, like this wake up in the middle of the night panic attack pressure. So I get a lot of clients or women that come to me from corporate and will say, I'm the sole income earner, or I have pay a large, we're codependent on my financial me working in order to pay our bills. And I always say, listen, what you don't heal now beyond what happens in the future with your career, it will chase you. And a lot of times people get into business for the wrong reasons. They think, oh, I want time freedom, but they didn't have the time boundaries and skills previous. So that, goes into your business. And when you have this underlying fear and you don't know how to manage the pressure of being a sole income earner, or the one that's driving the boat that you can't just stop, it is absolutely fucking terrifying. And nobody talks about it. So I want to talk a little bit about what I've specifically personally done to change the way that I think about this, and also how we've been able to create a sustainable lifestyle for ourselves, so that my husband works within the company, but also I get a good night's sleep. And the first thing I want to say is, if I could go back in time, I would not have changed anything. And the people that I see the most successful when they are scaling and growing their business, or choosing to leave corporate, start their own thing, are people who do not have the option to not make money. Let me repeat that again. These are people who don't have the option not to make money. So they're required to do the work and to face their shit because they have to make money. That failure is just not an option. Because what I see is when you are taking a big leap in your life, whether you're choosing to leave your career or you're choosing to start that business or your partner is choosing to leave their career so that you could be the full-time sole, the sole income earner. I am not going to lie, and this is probably very counterintuitive to what personal development would say. Pressure is good. I believe pressure is good because I will tell you, every single woman that I have worked with, myself included, who has said, I need to fucking make money and I need to make money now, they are laser focused on revenue generating activities. If you get super focused on your revenue generating activities because you are so afraid that you are not going to be able to pay your bills, you will make money quicker. And I remember saying this to an old client. She was like, I just can't figure this out. I just can't figure this out. And I was like, listen, we've gone over this strategy many, many times. You've done it all. You meditate, you drink your fucking green juice, you take your supplements, you do hypnosis, you have the strategy. You're not following through with it. I said, because you have an out. You've given yourself a mental out because your partner pays all the fucking bills. So you don't actually have to make any money. When you are choosing to uplevel your life financially, when you're choosing to uplevel your life physically, when you're choosing to uplevel your life in any area, you have to make yourself wildly uncomfortable. End of story. There is no easy, comfortable way to do this. You literally have to scare the shit out of yourself. And I will never, ever forget that feeling. And I would say that that was probably one of the hardest times and one of the rockiest times in mine and my husband's marriage because I wanted to blame him so bad. I remember at the beginning, I would say things like, I think you need to go get I think you need to go get a job. And I would argue with him and I had to practice what I preach, and I did a lot of mindset belief work around that. And at the end of the day, every time I turned it around, I wanted him to get a job for the sake of certainty. I wanted him to get a job. He's like, I'll get a job, Heather, but if I get a job, we're going to have to hire some childcare. If I do this, we're going to have to do this. And I was fucking terrified. And I remember the coaches that I had at the time, I've always attracted quality coaches, and I don't know what it is, probably because I can just smell bullshit a mile away and I can tell when someone's a scammer, but I always had quality coaches who were there for me, and I'd send them a message and I'd be like, listen, I'm freaking out, blah, 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 and they would always tell me where to focus my energy and attention. And I will tell you right now, having that uncomfortable container of space where somebody is just willing to be with you and hold you when you are losing your fucking mind because you're so emotionally uncomfortable, that is when the magic happens. So I get a lot of questions in my DMs about people asking how do you balance it all? How do you balance this bullshit? It's about life integration. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of inner work to fulfill a dream. The other day I was just speaking to a woman, and she made that passive-aggressive comment to me and said, must be nice. Must be nice. You're living the dream. And I actually laughed. I laughed hysterically. And I looked at her, I legit laughed. It wasn't I was I was so thrown off. And I looked at her and I said, everyone else is living a dream until we realize we are living our own dream. And she's like, what do you mean by that? said the grass is always greener on the other side. We always look at other people and say, they're living the dream and I am not living the dream. But the second you step into somebody else's dream and you step into somebody else's life and you like shadow that person on a daily basis and you like know exactly what they're going through and you're willing to do the exact same thing, that's the only time that you get the privilege of knowing what somebody else's human experience is like. And that goes for anybody, not just people that maybe you're jealous or envious of, but also people that you know nothing about. People that you judge maybe, or that, society judges and says, oh, those people are just lazy. Is it that they're lazy? Is it that they're lazy or they're struggling or they have no fucking clue where to start or they don't even have opportunity? So I come back to this conversation around being a sole income earner and the pressure. It's actually good pressure when you know how to use that energy, when you know how to use that pressure and you can look at it and say, what am I going to do not only to get out of survival mode financially, but to hold myself accountable to getting to a hearty, healthy, financially stable place? To know that I'm not just planning for paying my bills next month, but I'm learning to become a wealth builder. And we only do that under pressure. So every single time you see somebody and you say, it must be nice, or you're sitting there on the sidelines of your life thinking, why can't I figure this out? You have to. If you want to up your game financially, you have to put yourself in a financially uncomfortable situation. And what I mean by that is maybe draining your bank accounts and putting it in another bank that you can't see, so you can't pay your bills and you got to focus and do the work. Or maybe you're going to say to your partner, listen, I need to become responsible for this bill every single month. Don't pay it. I need to pay it. And then slowly start to stretch yourself and say, okay, now I'm going to pay 2 bills a month. Okay, now I'm going to pay 3 bills a month. And then with the extra money that they're not paying the bills with, you can put that in investing, or you can put that towards your business or whatever that is you want to do. But it's really about challenging yourself to get wildly emotionally uncomfortable. And this is why I always go back to energetic time management and reverse engineering how you want to feel. I don't eat quality foods or move my body or sign up for races or travel or take care of myself because I, fucking had cancer. I do it because I want to not only avoid burnout, but I want to feel alive. And so you can feel that pressure. You can feel that internal pressure of, holy shit, if I don't follow through with this, shit's going to hit the fan. And you can also take radical responsibility for your mental, physical, and emotional energy. So I want to know, was this of service to you? If it was, head on over to Instagram at @HeatherChauvin_. Send me a message and know that you're not alone. There is a lot of pressure, but you can manage it. You can manage the pressure. You don't push through it. You learn to sink into it, surrender, listen to it, and live a completely different life. One that feels alive. There it is. You just listened to the Emotionally Uncomfortable podcast. If you want to take this conversation to the next level, head on over to our private Facebook group community, heatherchauvin.com/Facebook. My last name is spelled CHAUVIN. That's heatherchauvin.com/Facebook. Also, if you are a huge fan of this show, please rate and review it on iTunes. Every review helps another woman like you take back control of how she wants to feel and become emotionally uncomfortable. I truly believe the better we feel, the more alive we become. This is how we are going to change the world. And if you've been watching me for a while, if you've been on the fence and you're curious, how can Heather help me? Head on over to heatherchauvin.com/work with me to check out my mastery and mastery business coaching programs. That's heatherchauvin.com/work with me.